Dad went into the service in 1942, in August of 42, and he and Mom they married in September of 1941 in Yuma, Arizona, and they lived out there in Chula Vista, California, and Dad worked for Consolidated Aircraft. And he was 30 years old, and he was afraid that he was going to get in the draft. And so he came back home. They came home, and he did get a draft notice, and so he didn't want to be in the Army, and so he went over to Oklahoma City. Came over to Oklahoma City the next day and signed up for the Navy, and they wanted to know if he'd be interested in the Seabees, and so he joined the Seabees and shipped out. Eventually trained in Norfolk, Virginia, and shipped to the South Pacific from Port Hueneme. He was a heavy equipment operator. He operated the bulldozer, which cleared the land for airstrips. On July 1st, the Japanese started bombing, and on July 2nd, about 1:30 p.m., he was on his bulldozer, and they started bombing, and the warning system wasn't working. Someone had put in the wrong fuel, and so he had no warning and couldn't hear on that big, heavy machine, and was blown off the machine. My mother, when he left, was only 3 months pregnant.
How did these letters give you some perspective on who he was?
Well, Mother kept them all, and I always knew that she had them. She kept them in her cedar chest, but I never thought about reading them. I don't know why. I tell you what, my family, Mother and my grandparents, never talked about Dad much. I don't know if the hurt was too great, but Mom just never said much. I would ask her about him once in a while, and she, wouldn't really relay much to me. But she moved to a smaller place at one point, and said that she didn't have room for the cedar chest, and she wanted me to take it. And these letters were in here for reading whenever I wanted to. And so Louis and I had taken early retirement. We both worked for the Department of HUD, and so we bought a mobile home and a boat and put it down at Texoma. And so we were going to go to Texoma, and I at the last minute I said, I'm going to get those letters and I'm going to read a few of them. And so I went and got them out of the cedar chest, and they weren't in any kind of order. And after dinner that evening at Texoma, Mom and Louis eventually decided, to go to bed. And so I said, well, I'll be in there in a little bit. I'm going to put these in chronological order, and I'm going to start reading a few. I read every one of them before I went to bed, which was about 3 o'clock. But I learned so much about my dad and who he was. And I'm so glad that she saved them all. To read some of his letters, he was a real patriot. He wished he were home to be with Mom, but he knew that he couldn't be. And he writes frequently about he's proud of what he's doing. As bad as he wanted to be home with his family, he knew that he was needed for what he was doing, and he was proud that he was working for the war effort and for America to win. And his letter, and you'll find that in these letters, how patriotic he was.